is 9 o'clock on a Tuesday, and I am ready to make another puzzle in front of you for your amusement. Uh, this week, I think I'm going to try to get back to making a cryptic crossword, although I was thinking that possibly I might try to make an A to Z cryptic. So, a cryptic crossword is, um, basically you know what a cryptic crossword is, but in an A to Z variant, that's a block grid and it has uh, exactly 26 entries, each of which starts with a different letter from A to Z. And you're supposed to sort of use crossing information and whatnot to the clues are not given in order, and you have to use the crossing information to figure out where they go. And sometimes you get I'm blanking a little bit on the exact presentation of this format, so I might have to refresh my memory. Uh, but one thing about it is that because each of the 26 entries begins with a different letter, you can't have two entries that begin within the same square. So I think that usually you have an offset sort of grid like this, so that the first across entry and the first down entry are not starting in the same square. And if I remember correctly, there are only like a small number of grids that are actually accommodating. Because if you do this with a 15 by 15, there are now 28 entries. Or sorry, there are 7 rows and 7 columns of entries. And so if every one of them had 2 entries, there would be 28, which means that there's one pair of rows or columns that should have 1 entry each to get it to 26. And with this offset grid, most of the entries are going to be an even number of letters. I guess there isn't that much that's different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I? Oh. Wait. This is only 13 by 13. I see what I did. So let's make that bigger. Like, we could also try to do it on a 13 by 13, but I think it works better on a 15 by 15. Alright, so we have 7 rows and 7 columns with answers. We could potentially have the middle, the two grid spanners be the middle row and column. That's a possibility. In order to make them not have them underchecked, we would need to introduce things here and here. And then we just put in some squares elsewhere. So some things we don't want to do. So we don't want to have, if we're putting these two 13 letter entries crossing the middle, then we don't want to have a black square there, for example, because then we'll have this letter here will be the start of 2 different entries, which again, we can't have happen, so let's put that here and here. And then here, let's do like, I don't know, that and that. And the rest of them, as long as we avoid anything that looks like that, which would again create two entries beginning in the same square, or then we should be good. So, and then there, that will do. This will give us, this should give us 26 entries. And then we have to provide fill that has every letter beginning something. And I think it would be helpful if we can make some of the more unusual letters in there, like the X's and the Q's, checked to provide additional help to the solver in placing them. So, for example, we might have a Q here and some answer that begins QUE or ends QUE, and this is 5 letters ending in QUE, so it could be something esque or boutique, BOUTI. Sure, let's put boutique. That's a weird set of letters, though. Applique. And critique. Mystique. Physique. Just trying to look at these to see what, and if any sort of cluing angles suggest themselves based on the letters. Like Mystique, you could have something like quiet and my as part of an anagram. Yeah, Mystique, you could have my, and then something like small and short, and then something that's like an anagram of, indicating an anagram of quiet. Sure, let's do that. And now we've figured out where the Y is going. So that could be something like yogurt. I do want to think of where the X is going to go as well, because the X is one of the other ones that I would like to have checked maybe. And at the same time not be super obvious. The problem is with all of these being, well, except for the two long ones, they're 4, 6, and 8 letters, or 10, so xylophone is out. what are some interesting X words that we could have. We could um, I could maybe see using xennials here. Xennials. Um, as an 8-letter one. So where could we put 8-letter one? So this would put an X in the middle of the 13. So maybe that should be filled next. So that's 8 letters followed by an X followed by 4 letters. So 13 star X. 1, 2, 3, 4. Circus Mac. Do we have a C yet? We do not have a C yet. Circus Maximus. C-U-R. Which would give us the S down here. So that's allowable. Have something like heterosexuals. So if I had Circus Maximus, I see some wordplay options for heterosexuals. You have rose in the middle. Also, with the other connotation of straight man, you could potentially have some misdirection in the clue. So let's go with that. Alright, now what's what? Do need to think about what are the other tricky letters. There's Z, obviously, J and K. Still pretty wide open at this point. Could see some things for quiche being like almost quick, and then he. This seems like a potentially tricky one with the H to L pattern. If it were two letters between the H and L, then there's a lot of heel and wheel. Witch hazel. Also, ooh, I've put an I here to go there. That's. Let's rethink quiche then. Um, hmm. Like, what could we. Obviously, E would be the best letter to have there, but maybe we don't want to go. Um, like an O or an A would be easier to end with than an I. Um, Quaver could be like a. Quarry might be a double definition. I don't know if those two senses of quarry are related, but if not, then it could be like a railroad going into a pier or something like that. Um, see. So there's not a lot of interesting things that start with Y. Um, and you got to be careful about, a lot of things like, say, yogurt. That's forcing a vowel to start this word, but you kind of have to conserve the vowels since you only got five of them. Y is not being used as vowel here, though I'm not going to get into the whole is Y a constant or a vowel thing because I'm not. Y. So there's yogurt, yodels, yachts. Well, I already have a few plurals, so like um, yakuza, yowled, yowled or yelped, yellow. So this could still be, we could potentially have consonant before the L here. Cloaca, probably not. Glinda, Gloria, Plasma. And then what would this be? So these two are now fairly. Although on the other hand, maybe I do want to use this as a vowel because there aren't going to be as many words that start with vowels necessarily. So I'll maybe leave that open. This was probably the next most constrained. So R L. Commercial, we haven't used. Oh, I should make a checklist here of starting letters. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Xennial, exennials, what do I have? Yellow. Q, I decided was going to be quarry. Mystique. Heterosexuals. So let's see, we have commercial, soccer ball, Wonderwall, all of those letters are available. So let's see which of those works there. T dot T dot, and then we have commercial, soccer ball, Wonderwall, dot. Outstretch. Outstretch seems weird in the present tense. So what if it were? I guess dollar bill is also good. I already. Oh, do I already have? I already have something that's beginning with N. I'll mark it in because we have the N in place. So I couldn't have something like, what was that? Note to self. What were the others? M, C, D. Eh, yeah, we'll do outstretch. Oh, now I'm realizing that that might be. We have something like that. I don't know. Not nothing good. So not outstretch. Uh, maybe let it slide. Oh, that might be tricky. Oh, but now we have this L here. That's got to be even worse. Not capital L. Alalia. Yeah, no. Bath towels. All right, so maybe we'll back out of quarry. Still like having yellow there. Um, could do something odd like QWERTY or Qantas. Uh, Guaca. Um, uh, I mean, the way to get around this is to have something that goes QUE. So let's see. Quench. Queasy. could see something like queasy uh, is hidden in the phrase oblique asymptote, I just noticed, which you may not remember what that is, but since I teach math from time to time, I sure know what an oblique asymptote is. It's when you have a graph of a function that uh, in the long run approaches a straight line. So it might curve, but eventually is going along a line of, say, slope 1. An example would be something like the function y equals x plus 1 over x. In the long run, it looks like y equals x, which is a line, and so it has an oblique asymptote. And then with this e here, this will be a lot easier to do. Now this one, conch shell. Movie still. Oh no, we can't have movie still. Still, we already have M. Koopa shell. Um, Problem is, there's only one good like sense for like Koopa shell is just hard to define without being blatant. Cool as hell. Uh, Non-musical is not a very good phrase. Movies can't use movie still because we've already used the M. Uh, so what would I do for conch shell? It just has so few vowels. Um, it's got enough repetition that it could be a letter bank, but I don't think that there's an anagram of that. Nope. You could have something with like cons and hell, and you just need to get the ch in there. So sure. Oh, that's right. What did we have for? I don't know why some of these. So what did I have back there for the outstretch? So, conch shell, conch outstretch. So this could be allele, which is the form of a gene in genetics. You could have sleeve. Allege, fleece. All right, so we have a few. Well, yeah, all of those are open to us at this point. So now we have this other 13. compass needle? No, can't have C. Marquis de... No, can't have M. Tuna casserole. And unforeseeable are really the ones that I like here. Let's see what tuna casserole does. Oh, that would put a C here, and we already have a C. So this would be unforeseeable. That doesn't look like much fun to clue at all. What could I do? I could... could be a big ol' anagram. Could have something like gun for or run for with the lead taken off. And then we have, again, just too many E's. Yeah, if this were an anagram, what would it even be an anagram of with that many E's? I mean, we could have feeble in there. So if it were feeble, then you'd have UNORSEA. And it'd be nice if there were maybe a noun to go with feeble. Feeble nurse, which would leave me OA. Could be a feeble nurse. And then, all right, unforeseeable it is. Oh, quarry has become queasy. Oh, I see that we now have an R and a B that have been determined. Beyond, they're both pretty open. The B will determine another starting letter here. So we said that this could be A or F or S here. All of those are still open. We do need something to end in F here. It's not so weird. I get the feeling that some of these things, like these two short fours, are going to be useful for getting, and possibly over here as well, for getting some of the last letters. So I'll wait to fill those. So maybe we'll deal with this F then. It's going to be a lot of things ending with off or of. Let's see. We no longer have a W, so we could maybe have werewolf. I mean, werewolf has the flower in it, or just lower. That does not force anything for us. So what entries at this point are going to force more starting letters? We're going to have this 6 over here, and this 4 over here, and then all of the others are only determined by the limits of what can go through the other letters. Let's try this. Could have Jeremiah for the J. Knee-high for or Kate Bush. Although for Kate Bush is probably too namey for a cryptic. Just like having a cryptic clue for a specific person can be more challenging. Knee-high isn't so great for like actually making a clue. Could have something like feverish. Feverish. What would feverish be? Oh, it's just ever in fish. That's definitely something you can work with. So then this, like, you could put almost any consonant here and get something. So that's easy. So we'll leave this corner for cleanup. can't have imposter because that would put an M here, but maybe something else. Um, I mean, definitely something else. Uh, do we have debonair could work, and then an E for something like education. Well, not education. We could potentially have something like equivalent here just to mess with people, but then that would force an A here, or well, a vowel here anyway, and we're running out of those. Uh, but just having another Q to mess with people trying to fill the grid based on the Qs. Um, I am definitely in favor of messing with my solvers. This being feverish means that this now can't be fleece. It could be a ledge or sleeve still. Uh, Let me change this stream title just to be A to Z Cryptic. Ah, I really liked job offer for having a boffer style of larper in it, but can't have an O here because we already have something beginning with O. I wonder if I have enough things already. Uh, Not BC, FH, MNOQR, UWXY. Oops. UWXY. And I'm doing that because I can do that twice. R. Is there anything else that's gonna? No. Allosaur, debonair, dinosaur. I like the. I like debonair for the cluing opportunities. Let's see, gag order. Gag order could have a sort of punny definition. Like, the order that a comedian puts their jokes in. And the thing about some kind of order, well, so let's see. .i.o.ad. Well, let's do A first, just to compare them. 12. Are any of them good? Mimosa, no, we have M. Vigoda, maybe. Kia ora. Alright, so then we could put either debonair or dinosaur here, but I like debonair. Alright, so that gave us Kia ora. Debonair. That's going to give us an E. Guess we should fill in that E. Could also have something with X, like exuberance. Excuse me. Equatorial. I'm not sure. Like X, like exuberance, you could have like X for former lover or whatever, Uber. So I think this is going to be another place where we can put in, like a J or a V could slot in here nicely. Do we hold off on putting that in, do you suppose? So here we're in an issue where this has to be either a vowel or an S. We only have A and I left as vowels, so we better be careful about that. And this has to be an A or an S. Oh, I completely missed that we have an S that is forced by heterosexuals. Of all the things that heterosexuals impose upon others, I was not anticipating the letter S. Which means that then this is an S or an I. Oh no, this is the S. Right, this is the I. So it could be ice something, it could be Icarus. An encoder. Oh, I think I might have. Oh gosh, my recording failed. So I think what's happening is that I'm actually running out of room on my hard drive. I'm gonna need to move some of these to YouTube so I can get them off my hard drive. The recordings, that is. So anyway, this is IC blank. So that is all of the vowels now, because we have a ledge up here. All right. This could also be I Ching, which has some interesting wordplay things in it, like taking out the T from itching or inching, or adding an H to icing. So what do we still need to worry about? We still need to worry about J and V are probably the problem ones. We still have room to do some things. Maybe we'll do... So let's see. So I'm going to use this, except I'm now going to add A, I, K, and S to the list. B dot I dot 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 dot. Oh, we don't have a Z yet. So we could get Blizzard and then put a Z over here. Blizzard is nice because it, even if you go, oh, it must intersect the Z, it still doesn't, I guess it does rule out where it can go, because werewolf wouldn't put the Z in the right place. Sure. So then that gives us Blizzard here. We now have a Z. And we have this here. I wonder if there's a place to put the way to put the J here. Anyways, this is 10.a star 8 dot dot. Oh, except now we can take out Z. Did we use up the E? We did use up the E for exuberance. Oh, and debonair too. Passionate. That would put this to be like needle. So if we have that needle, I might have messed up drive 2 by letting my hard drive get too full. I also meant to get an external hard drive to store my videos on. So we have splurged here. Because otherwise it's what, like solarize? Silurian? Silk Road, Solar Day, Solarium. Like this SPL is hard, but we have urged, so it could be like some bits and pieces to get SPL. Then this can wait. So oh, just curious to see if I Ching can work. Red Porgy, no thanks. That's a lot. What if we also put in maybe the 6-letter one there, since that still has dot E dot dot dot. Are there other letters? Oh, I've gotten rid of P as well. Passionate. And I've gotten rid of Z. Now I can't have something like velvet because that would have put a V in 2 places. I put in a Z, so I can't have that. I thought I had. Oh, I think maybe I took the Z out. Jester. Sure. Maybe. I'm not sure what we could have for that, so. Uh, Copy. R. Yeah. So maybe not Jester. So let's also put in a not R at the end. Jet lag. Ragdolls, regional. What would you have for jet lag? It could be like JAG and then LT, let in it, an anagram. Uh, Maybe we save the J. Uh, Certainly can fit it into one of the fours that's still available to us. Um, maybe League 11. Does the etymology of 11 include leave? Raise. Okay, that makes sense. And then leave is probably more Germanic. Possibly from fat. Hmm. Well, uh, and then we can have something here. Vessel, vision, visage. Actually, we do need to think about what goes there. Um, all right. Actually, we have two. All right. AB equals 2. IC dot A dot B. V dot S dot A dot R dot N dot O dot B dot. Right? Ice Age and ransomed. Or runs over. So I think Ice Age is good there. Don't know whether I want ransomed or runs over. Could be like Rover. Oh God. Oh man. Runs over Rover. You're running over a dog. I'm guessing that Vassal is slightly easier to write a clue for than Visual. Just the wordplay is nicer. Alright, so let's see. We've got Passionate. We have this Z that we don't know. We've gotten 11. We've gotten Vassal. Runs over. Ice Age. So now we've got G, J, T, and Z, with the Z being there. So the G is we're not going to put a J there. I guess we're going to have like Z here, and so we have G and J over here. I mean, Geta is a very easy Jape and whatever. Try. No, not something where you could. Whatever. So, although let me see what I have for JE dot vowel. Jedi. How would you clue Jedi? Because I don't just want Jed. No, it's just not a good set of letters. So we'll go back to Geta and Jape. Could be Jade. Here. ZD. Alright. Now, we can go over here and start writing some clues. I mean, this is just going to be obtained. Just realizing that I was planning on including jape using Japanese, something about Japanese as part of the wordplay. But there are two problems with that. One is that I'm using Japanese for the definition of geta, which is not required. But secondly, I maybe even if I am clear that I'm like deleting certain letters, I maybe don't want to look like I'm using a particular slur. So I could maybe do could also be like jackanape without. Well, is that what jape is short for? Jackanapes? Also, the question of where does jaded come from? Okay, so that's a potential double definition. Hmm. I need to think about my wordplay types while I'm. Just because I feel like I maybe exclude some wordplay types more frequently than others. Or you use some wordplay types disproportionately more than others. But let me make sure Kia is Korean. I always sophisticated is one of those words that I have trouble spelling. Hmm. This is one of those things where I could think of possibilities for the wordplay, but connecting it to the definition to like expand. I don't want. I could potentially say spread, or but not spread out because of the dupe with the word. Predict. Oh, did I ever? Okay, needle was the N. So that's most of yells plus ow. Um, suppose if I do that, it's going to get shrunk a little bit, but you should still be able to see it, right? Um, what is the current? Oh, that's way too small. Guess I'll just have to scroll slightly. Uh, United Nations. Hmm. I'm trying to come up with a synonym for mysterious to put into the clue for mystique. Cryptic, enigmatic. Thinking about having something that uses S as some modifier that has S as the central letter, and I'm putting Y at the end just because that's kind of what I'm thinking of. Although at this point, there might not. That might not be the right um, letter pattern to use here. Uh, there we go. Oh wait, I just that's too long. Pleasant is too long. Uh, are the endings for adjectives? I guess transient, maybe. Let's go back to like. I want something that's pleasant to go along with appeal at the end, so not like ghastly. Um, if I could make something, if I could make the grammar work for prosody, essentially. Uh, Cryptopedia, anagram indicators. I now want a verb so that it's like the author's prosody essentially to get S. The author's is my prosody essentially is S. Verbs quite unusual appeal or something like that, or enigmatic appeal. so like cooked up. It's the pro it so the prosody in like surface sense, the prosody evokes an enigmatic quality. It um essentially um essentially engender. This has engender as a anagram indicator, but I'm not sure I buy it. Hmm. Maybe produced. Um, ah, there was a discussion over in Puzzlers Club Discord about what was it? Like somebody had. I want to find it because it's amusing me. Well, I'm thinking about cluing needle. Uh, right. Um, so there was something in the Puzzlers Club Discord about like just some random wordplay discussion, and somebody was like, "Why is in what context is BON good and MAL bad?" And it was like, "Oh, as prefixes from the French." And somebody goes, "Oh, damn it, it's the French again." And then my friend Max replies to, "Oh, god damn it, it's the French again." Me being grouchy about le cryptic cluing because Max, likes me, really despises the French as cryptic cryptic wordplay for le. Um, but then I said, at first I read le because it was in all caps as lawful evil, but I think there's nothing lawful. But everybody does it, so I will too is kind of lawful behavior, especially if it's lawful evil. So I want to not use the French here, just because it is need plus le. That's a very obvious uh, dissection of the wordplay, but oh, I don't want to. What is that? Thought there was a. Oh no, I'm thinking of treadle, not not needle. I'm trying to come up with a good indicator to connect feeling sick to being a hidden in oblique asymptotes. Or maybe there's a good definition for queasy that will run with the surface better. Queasy could also be causing nausea. I guess splurge could also be surged around PL. Um, so it's 11. How many have I written so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, if I can write at least half of them, um, I had considered whether I wanted to, like, in the original presentation of the ABC puzzle, or A to Z puzzle, uh, there were the clues started with letters A to Z as well, but not in the same order um, as the entries, and you were supposed to use the missing first letters of the clues to figure out where to place the starting letters A to Z, and then do that. But I think that's my solvers are clever. They don't need that much hand holding, right? Um, I just noticed that the right hand side of this says "Why, Sid," which is maybe directed at the antagonist of Toy Story, asking him why he is so cruel to his toys. Actually, maybe visual isn't so bad after all, because you can have Vile with like us back in it. using visual there in the noun sense. That's an interesting visual. Uh, Let me just. Like, ZD is the most interesting of those, but. Uh, so I think this is going to be a hidden, some a reversed hidden of something with maybe digitized as the. Um, digitized pasta sounds really weird, though. I wonder if there's other star TZ sensitized, citizen sanitized, prioritized. Not all of these are going to be hard clues. This one I want to have more time to think over, so I may not try to write it right now. Not by a needle, by a knitter. I don't like that because you do, even though it's one piece, you usually call it circular needles, I think. Is It's a good question. Maybe the place to look is for shopping. Let's do that. I could use to put in more weird phonetic things. So sure, a phonetic charade. Um, and I was considering of maybe being Levin being a phonetic beheadment of 11. I don't know how to make an effective clue out of that though. Um, Excuse me. So this one I'm inverting the wording a little bit. Inside of fish is so inside of salmon, e.g., is always hot. Inside of fish is ever. Um, I think that's fine. I know there are going to be some solvers who will raise an eyebrow at that. That's fine. This is probably going to be something like x plus uber plus dance, and then losing the d. Uh, I think this is. Hmm. I was going to say it's going to be claim everyone dot dot dot. Um, but I feel like I might have used that in a clue before. Oh, hang on a second. Okay. Alright, let's try this. Claim everyone. Do I have this? That's just a. Okay, I have. If I have used. What is this? I'm just looking on my hard drive to see if I have anything of. Well, that was rude. Uh, I. So I think what I have on my computer is actually an excerpt from Patrick Berry Cryptic. So I haven't written a clue for allege that starts with claim everyone, but Patrick Berry sure has. I'm not surprised by that. Like the two obvious things here are all, for example, and then leg inside ale. So if I could come up with something that's not those. Um, hmm. I'm still thinking about this one. May need more time for me to think about as well. Um, so tier is one where I could, although uh, homonym is easy to do for tier or something else that could go there, might be a good opportunity for a deletion since I don't have really anything else that would give me a good deletion opportunity that I can see from here. I might be able to manufacture something for 11. Um, Possibly something with like oven now that I think of it, since leavened products are often put in ovens. Um, so passionate, we could have like passe, but then the remaining letters are awkward. Have pass on around I. Have paste around SIONA, which is also a fairly awkward set of letters. And I like pass on around I because um, it's a phrasal verb that you can clue with a single word like bequeath or die. Um, Although, in order for a good surface, you need something that will, um, like passionate is obviously an adjective, so you need some, it feels like you need a noun to go with it somewhere. Okay, so maybe like pa's son, father's child. So it's a good synonym for passionate, like devoted or enthusiastic. So I think maybe perhaps around. So I like this. Had lunch perhaps around one because one is a time that you would have lunch, which means that I would want to change how I'm inserting an O into unforeseeable. Uh, um, losing control isn't quite right. Oops. this isn't the right indicator. There's an indicator that's going to make it pop more, but I'm not thinking of it, so I'll leave it for now. Oh, need an enumeration there. What do we have now? 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 to go. So I've already written 17. So I've done most of the work for this puzzle. Yeah, this will be nice. I don't think I've done an A to Z cryptic before. I don't know why this one cell got misaligned. Um, and there's a phrasing that will make this seem less of an arbitrary juxtaposition. And it also feels weird having like 3 letters right there, and it's the entire second word of the thing. But I've done more. I've had like 6 letters in the plane out of 10, and I have no regrets. So sure. Still might want to work on getting the definition, getting the phrasing to make the surface juxtaposition better. Uh, Let me just see what do I have in these 17 clues. So how many anagrams do I have? 1. I almost never do this. 2, 3. I only have 3 anagrams so far. That's good. Charades. That's a combination, but it's got a charade. 2, 3. Oh no, that's double addition. 3, 4. Have a couple of hiddens. This one annoys me because, like, having taught Algebra 2, we have a section on oblique asymptotes, but section on is not the right indicator for taking the QUEASY out of Queasy, and just because I can more easily imagine my lesson on oblique asymptotes making someone sick than actual. I suppose that's very pessimistic of me. Uh, but I don't know. Like, I guess maybe you are seeing the graph and getting a little bit nauseated. So I'm seeing a few things that I could do here. Is what I was meaning to say is that there are a few ways that I could um, possibly deal with this. Like it could be SPL and urged. It could be PL inside surged. It could be like R inside S plug and then ed, or it could be R inside um, reversed gulps. Problem is, I don't like a round river here because like a river is not a thing you go around unless you're at the very end of it. Um, it's something you go across. Can we use across as like? Mm, I don't know why Russia feels better than Romania there. That was at 11:40. I might call it early since I don't currently have anyone around and I'm kind of winding down here. I might, yeah, I think I will leave it for now. I'll come back next week for a new puzzle. And until then, happy solving.